Alright guys, so we're going to talk a little bit about a story, or not a story, we're actually going to talk a little bit about a thing that I've heard on the internet before, and it's kind of fun to get into the conspiracies, if you will call it. So, mind my voice getting over some sickness and whatnot, but anywho, I think it'd be interesting to get into this topic right here. How many gallons fits on an airplane? Now, if any of you know anyone that knows anything to do with planes, that would be really helpful so I don't completely sound crazy. But anyways, I would like at least some people that know probably some more things about airplanes than me, obviously, to put it in the comments if you know anything like that, because this is a really interesting topic. And furthermore, we're just going to get it straight into it. So first of all, we have our airplane. How should I hold this? Our airplane right here. Okay. Then we have our airplane facing you right here. We have our wings. The Google claims that there is 60,000 gallons in this plane. And that is fake as a cake, that 60,000 gallons somehow fit in there, because if you put divide it by 2, you have 30,000 gallons, which is how much approximately one of these oil tanker trains actually hold. So if you were to put that side by side by a plane, I know, yes, you're going to say that's not to scale, but think of it, this thing is about approximately, possibly 7 feet tall. And how thick are those wings? They're definitely not 7 feet thick, are they? And then we go simple basic math. 30,000 plus 30,000 is 60,000, which means if you were to divide those two, you would have 30,000. Okay, this is what actually would happen if you were to actually have that much amount of gas, or let's say fuel, jet fuel essentially, on your airplane. Now, some people say it goes in the belly of the airplane. Some people say it goes in the tail of it. Well, yes and no, but I mean, how do you fit that into that? Like, even if this fit in there, people go in there, okay? It just doesn't make sense. It's just as dumb as trying to fit a 5-gallon bucket in a 1-gallon small little container. It just doesn't work. It's called physics, and it's called basic math. They try to make it sound like it's this complicated thing. So, what else are they actually running off of going 9 hours overseas, other than just their imaginary cartoon fuel that actually fits in there? Some people speculate that it's some sort of secret free energy that's probably made up as well, but it sounds just as made up as this. If you actually do the very basic chart of how much fuel actually fits in an airplane. So, yeah, don't believe everything Google tells you until you actually self-speculate on a chart that's so easy and so basic. And I could be missing something. Let me know if I am missing anything. That way I'm not completely sounding dumb, like I said in the beginning. But, like I said, I mean, it's a super basic chart. And if you're saying, well, you're just shaking all over the place, I can't see it, you can literally pause the video and quite literally screenshot that if you want to. It doesn't matter. Do the studying yourself. It's really fascinating to get into these so-called conspiracies or theories or whatnot. Just because I find it kind of funny, because I'm a logical person, I don't really see 60,000 gallons fitting anywhere near the size of an airplane. People say, well, it's a big airplane. Yes, well, the luggage and the people, 300 people or 200 people, or what is it, 150 fits on there approximately. Where the people go is all in here. Even if you were to fit 30,000 gallons onto here, where's that all fitting? Okay, where's that all fitting, right? So there's something that we're just missing. Clearly, we just know that that's not true. It's either using a very small amount of gas. I'm just going to say gas. It's a quicker way to put it. They're essentially putting a very small amount of fuel, essentially, in the engines to project, or I'm saying it backwards. Essentially, the thrust, a tiny bit of fuel in those engines to make the engine go forward. That would make sense. But because it uses so much thrust and so much power to get off the ground, and even if it was actually that heavy, I mean, just think of it this way: like, you're not getting that off the ground. 60,000 gallons of fuel off the ground. You would need technically a lot of power, and you need a turbine engine that's probably 50 feet in diameter, not 20 some feet in diameter. No. You would need something a lot bigger than that. You would need quite literally like 10 rockets to try to get that off the ground. But again, there must be something I'm missing. Put it in the comments however you want to, put that in perspective. I don't know if I'm just so simple that this just makes too much sense or very little sense. You let me know. So yeah, we'll see you next time.